I thought I had it all figured out. A husband, 3 kids, a home, a life that looked perfect on the outside. Richard was 6 years older than me, confident, charming, the kind of man who could walk into a room and make everyone notice him. In the beginning, he was everything I wanted: funny, attentive, full of promises, making me believe we could conquer the world together. We built a life. Within 8 years, we had 3 children, 2 boys, and a little girl. I poured myself into our family. I gave everything I had to making a home, raising our children, and supporting Richard as he climbed higher in his career. I thought love was enough, that devotion and effort could keep a family together. But life has a way of peeling back the layers, revealing truths you refuse to see until they hit you in the face. And the truth about Richard came slowly, almost imperceptibly at first. The laughter we once shared faded, the gentle touches disappeared, his attention drifted elsewhere, until I noticed things I couldn't ignore: the faint smell of perfume that wasn't mine. Messages on his phone he would quickly hide, excuses that didn't add up. I tried to ignore it. I told myself he was stressed, that I was imagining things. I told myself I should trust him, that what I feared wasn't real. But one night, the evidence was undeniable. He had been cheating, and he didn't even try to hide it anymore. When I confronted him, shaking, tears falling, he shrugged. He looked at me as if my pain was absurd. "All men slip," he said. "You're my wife. You should forgive." And the world around me told me the same. My mother whispered that I should endure it for the children. My friends told me men are men, and as long as he provides, I should ignore his mistakes. Even the church reminded me of my vows, for better or worse, as if enduring betrayal was part of the deal. So I stayed. I smiled. I held the children in my arms and prayed that maybe, one day, he would change. But he didn't. He only grew bolder. The more I forgave, the more he strayed. He stopped hiding it, stopped pretending. Sometimes he didn't come home, and when I asked, he sneered, "You'll forgive me anyway, like you always do." And each time, I felt a little piece of myself crumble. The breaking point came quietly. Not with a fight, not with an argument that ended in shouting. It came in the dead of night, sitting alone in the dark, staring at the ceiling, knowing that my daughter might grow up thinking disrespect is normal, knowing my sons might grow up believing betrayal defines manhood. That night, I made the hardest decision of my life. I was done. I filed for divorce. I walked away from the man I had loved, from the life I had built, because staying meant sacrificing my soul. But leaving was not simple. It unleashed a side of Richard I had never truly seen. The man who once wooed me became an enemy. He refused to leave the house, refused to pay support, refused to acknowledge the truth. And worst of all, he fought me for custody. He accused me of being unstable, negligent, unfit. He painted me as the reckless one, the irrational one, while he presented himself as the perfect, composed provider. He used charm and wealth to twist reality in the eyes of the court and the community. At first, I was terrified. People whispered behind my back that I was selfish, that I was destroying my family, that I should have endured. I doubted myself. Some nights, I sat in the dark after tucking in my children, silent tears rolling down my face, feeling hopeless, afraid that the court might take them from me. But I wasn't powerless. I had proof. Years of messages, photos, evidence of his affairs and neglect. Proof that I had been the one holding our family together while he lived a double life. And when I presented it in court, everything changed. Witnesses testified on my behalf, teachers, neighbors, even my children. The lies he had woven so carefully began to unravel. His arrogance cracked when the judge ruled in my favor, granting me primary custody of my 3 children. I cried harder than I had in years. Relief, pride, fear, and exhaustion all mingled in that moment. I had fought for my children, fought for myself, and I had won. Richard, of course, was furious. He muttered about betrayal, about how I had destroyed the family, as though he hadn't already destroyed it himself long before I walked away. But I didn't fear him anymore. I had survived him, survived the lies, survived the nights of silent despair. I had walked through fire and was still standing. Rebuilding my life wasn't easy. Raising 3 children alone never is. But slowly, the air in our home became lighter. Laughter returned. Smiles came easier. The children felt freer. I began to smile too, not because life was perfect, but because I had taken control of it, because I was finally living on my terms. Richard tried, of course, sometimes with anger, sometimes with false charm, sometimes with promises I knew he'd never keep. But I knew the truth. People who refuse to change when love is present will never change when it's gone. I allowed him access to the children because they deserved to see their father, but he no longer had access to me, not to my peace, not to my soul. Looking back now, I realize what this journey taught me. Pain can be cruel, betrayal can cut deep, and leaving someone you love can feel like tearing yourself apart. But there is wisdom in surviving, in reclaiming your life, in realizing your value. Love is not enough if it comes without respect. Devotion is meaningless if it is not returned. And forgiveness is not a tool to chain yourself to someone who will never honor it. I am no longer the woman who waited for change that would never come. I am no longer the woman who gave her heart entirely to someone who never saw its worth. I am the woman who rebuilt her life from pieces, who faced betrayal and survived it, who learned that strength is forged in the crucible of pain. I am the woman who now stands taller, who loves her children freely, who smiles without guilt, and who knows that happiness is not about holding on to someone who doesn't value you. It's about holding on to yourself. Pain remains, scars remain, but they are not chains. They are reminders. Reminders of a life lived fully, lessons learned painfully, and strength earned fiercely. I walked away to save myself, and in the end, I found not just survival, but freedom, dignity, and a life I truly own. And that, more than anything, is worth everything.